We're here outside the Mackenzie Hodgson insurance stand. Niall Mackenzie joins us. Niall, what's all this about then, this insurance lark?
Well, proper job for myself and Mr. Hodgson for once.
A motorcycle racer with a proper job?
Something like that. Well, it really is. It feels like that, although a sort of labour of love, if you like. Like all good ideas, it started over a few beers over 2 years ago, and we woke up the next morning and still thought it was a good idea. So we've got a mutual friend in the motorcycle insurance industry that thought it would be a good idea for us to form a company and put a stamp out there and try and deliver a good motorcycle insurance service. And really that's what the last 2 years have been about. And big explosion here at the NEC, launching the company, gathering information and spreading the word.
What about your racing career? We'll come back to the insurance later. What's your highlights of your racing career? You've been in Grand Prix, Wildcard World Superbikes, 3 British Championships. Don't get more all-rounded than that.
Highlights all over the place. Our first ever race I won was on a 350LC at a racetrack called Carnaby, and that was a massive moment in my life. I'd never really been good at anything before. That was huge and kind of forged my career. And then the GP thing, I was involved in a very special era of 500 GPs when I was racing against the likes of Schwantz, Gardner, doing Lawson and finishing on the podium with these guys. And while I didn't realise at the time, it was an amazing time in GPs. And then after that, very lucky to come back and have an Indian summer to my career in BSB. The early years of BSB were in the late 90s, and I managed to win 3 titles on the Cadbury's Boost Yamaha. I think the highlights were just being involved with the guys I was teammates with. James Whittam the first year, great character. Chris Walker the second year, and then the late great Steve Islop. But any given weekend was brilliant, whether I was winning or partying but it was just a great end to my career. So it's all been good and just hundreds of highlights really.
In your Grand Prix career, you came into the 1990 season without a ride, but still beat Kevin Schwantz in some races. But in 1993, you got a podium, beating Carl Fogarty on the run to the line at Donington Park. Which of them 2 moments is your favourite?
Well, yeah, I guess 1990 was my best season. I finished 4th in the World Championship, which was great. And British Grand Prix, getting on the podium is amazing. I led the British Grand Prix in 1989, finished 4th, didn't quite get to the podium. So I think if I was to choose, the standing on the podium at Donington with Luca Cadalora and Wayne Rainey would be a highlight. Certainly every rider's dream is to be there, every rider's dream is to win a Grand Prix, but the next best thing, and I choose 93.
What is your role within British Superbikes now? We see you doing some media things, we see you in the paddocks more or less at every round. What do you exactly do?
I tend to change shirts quite a lot on a weekend. So last year I worked with McCann's Yamaha a little bit. I did the pillion rides for them at lunchtime. I did some interviews in the hospitality. And I also stood in for James Whittam on Eurosport. I've got a regular spot on Eurosport doing some of the support races commentary, but stood in for James Whittam. And outside of that, I guess looking after the boys, Taylor and Taz, when they're in the paddock. So a myriad of roles there, but all good fun.
Is there anything in your career that you wish you had done differently?
I've got no regrets, because everyone does what they do and then they have to make the best of it. Sure, if you could turn back time. When I first got into GPs, I was taken on board by HRC for 2 years, which for me was the ultimate, the biggest company, the best bikes in my opinion, and probably the most money at the time, which was crazy. But looking back, I didn't lose my way, but I also had an offer from Kenny Roberts. Kenny Roberts was keen to sort of take me under his wing, and I think that would have been a better mentor and better guidance, someone that would tell me what to do and when to do it. So there might have been a bit more direction in my career, but I've got no regrets. I had a great time. 11 years I was in GPs. I had amazing opportunities and rode some incredible bikes, but I guess that could have put things in a slightly different direction. It might or might not have made a difference.
What were the hardest years of your career? You rode with some pretty difficult bikes. The Silverstone Armstrong machine was one of them. In 1999 you came into BSB as reigning triple champion, and it didn't quite work out like that at the end. That's
right. The hardest year I think was 95. Actually, my last season in GPs I rode a 250 Aprilia for a Dutch team. It was promised lots and delivered nothing, and it really was a heartache. think my best result was 6th at the British Grand Prix at Donington, which was great, 250 result. But the rest of the year was a disaster, and that really was a long season in GPs when you're not happy in a team and on a pretty average bike. So that wasn't good at all. Didn't enjoy that. The 99 season with Yamaha was the first year of the R7, and I'd come off the back of 3 championships. The bike looked gorgeous, sounded gorgeous, but didn't run very well for the first half of the season, so that was frustrating. I still enjoyed it. I had highlights. I was finishing on the podium and having a great time with my team and the guys around me, but the results weren't there, and I'd been used to winning, and I finished 7th in the championship, so not brilliant.
Mackenzie dynasty continues with Taryn and Taylor. What do you make of their rides in 2017?
Well, in 2017 wasn't ideal. They had a dream 2016, both winning the Supersport with Taz and the Stock 1000 Championship with Taylor. It was great. It was just one of these seasons that everything came together, everything lined up, and they had an amazing time. And I've always said to them, I support them every year because I believe in them. I know it's in there, and finally they proved that they were certainly as good as anyone in the UK in their respective classes. And things changed in 2017, and again it was a roller coaster, and they come out fighting every single time they got on their bikes, but it didn't work out. There's no real thing to blame. There was some bad luck involved, some unreliable machinery, and some testing times. It's all new for Taz in Moto 2, but what has happened is they both learned an incredible amount. Their heads were never down. They came out fighting every time, and they'll start the 2018 season stronger than they were this year.
British Superbikes in 2017, mega competitive. Did you expect it to be like that? Has it? It's been stronger than it's ever been before.
It gets stronger every year. I guess, yeah, I did, because the riders and the teams and the machinery involved gets better. So, yeah, it is mind-blowing. It is at world-class level. We've got World Superbike champions in there, World Superbike winners, MotoGP rostrum finishers, and multiple British champions, and they are on the limit every single track of the year, and they're at a world level. We can see that when Leon Haslam dips into World Superbike, he's on the podium. So that's where we're at. It's incredibly competitive, and it will be next year, and it's a tough job to finish on the podium or win races. So it's amazing, but that's only good news for us spectators.
You mentioned World Superbikes then. What's gone wrong with World Superbikes?
Nothing really. I think Johnny Ray is an exceptional rider and athlete. He's an amazing talent. So he's added to the fact that it's been a bit strung out. It's just been an exceptional 3 years for him. So that's stretched things out a little bit more. Obviously the rules need looking at, because the Kawasaki's are the strongest, Ducatis are next in line, and Ducati will say that. And then we've got the Yamahas and the other guys after that. So the rules need to be brought in line. They've made a few minor changes for next year that, in my opinion, will make no difference. However, I know that Yamaha have some different direction, and they've got high hopes of being a lot closer, at least, to the Ducatis. So I think maybe the Kawasaki will still be the strongest. I think the rest should close up, so it might be marginally more interesting. Rules-wise, they need to take a look at BSB, which works. It would be an easy fix, but it's not that simple, because the manufacturers want to develop bikes with full electronics and have everything the way it is. And Dorna don't want to be copying BSB, I guess. So I think next year is going to be better, but not quite perfect. And also Ducati are looking to 19 as well with their 4-cylinder bike. So I'm not sure how much effort they're going to put into making the V-twin Panigale competitive. So I love all the riders in there. I love the racing. I watch every lap of every race. The racing isn't as good as it could be. I think 2018 will be a transitional year, and I hope that they just gear everything towards 2019, getting back to somewhere near its best.
Back onto the insurance. So which one of the Nials is the more business-like?
Well, I'd say me. He's the more aggressive salesman, and I'm the more calm businessman. So you need a bit of yin and yang in any business. No, he's we're a good combination. We've got some good people behind us in the insurance industry guiding us every step of the way. It's obviously our name's above the door, which says what we want it to be, and that's why we want to deliver a quality service. We'll be best mates forever. We're closer than we've ever been, and super excited about this venture, and going to throw everything we can at it. The fact that it is our names means that we can't fail. We have to look after people, and that's what we want to do. And we want to provide competitive insurance for bikers like we are, and give them a quality, friendly, happy experience along the way.
Finally, you said you're both best mates now, but have you forgiven each other after Cadwell Park 2000?
I had, until you brought that up again. We nearly got over that. I offered my resignation that day. I'm impressed you remember that. What happened that day was I fell off in the warm-up lap, out the pit lane really late, and then got in all kinds of trouble while him and Chris Walker were battling for the championship. Got in the wrong place at the wrong time while being lapped. Chris Walker went on to win that race when Neil should have won it, and it was my fault. I offered my resignation. Colin Wright declined. He didn't blame me, and we've been okay ever since. Thankfully he did win the championship, so I was let off with that one.
Niall Mackenzie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, cheers.